Master Yap, what are the benefits of the practice? Who can participate? And can you tell us some examples of incredible healing?
Yeah. Okay, I think the benefits can be roughly divided into two categories. One is on the physical side, that means to do with your muscular skeletal structure. So people with knee problems, hip problems, lower back, shoulder problems. I've seen Yan Shou Gong have very good effects on this. The other one is on your energetic level, on the energetic side. That means building up your chi, giving you more energy and also helping you to build up your resistance and general health. Okay, let's start with the first one. In Yan Shou Gong, there are many movements that can be applied to the different parts of the body. So those that strengthen the knees, those that strengthen the back, and the shoulders and so on, you see. And I think we can either do the complete form or use particular movements from the form to target specific areas. So that's one part of it. And then for the energetic side, of course, if you do the entire form, because some of the Yan Shou Gong forms are meant to help the heart, the kidneys, and the different parts of the body. So if you work on those particular forms, then they will benefit you for that specific, let's say, internal organ. So those are the two aspects of it. Now, as to who can participate in Yan Shou Gong, well, so long as you have the discipline to learn the form and to practice the form, anyone can do it. We have the youngest, who are people. I think I've had one of my students who runs a child care center. They have kids from, I think, 6 to 12. And she teaches them parts of the Yan Shou Gong. And it helps them to calm down. And they really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And I also have, old people in their 70s or 80s also learning Yan Shou Gong. Now, as for healing, I think one of the one I find most impressive, and it even surprised me, was in my early days of teaching Yan Shou Gong. This happened in Singapore. And one of my friend, you can say also student, had a sister who had undergone a lung operation. She had a very bad lung infection, and they took out part of her lung, and she was walking in the botanic gardens to recover. So my friend was helping her to recover. And at that time, she had to wear a oxygen extractor, it's a box that extracts oxygen from the air and feeds it to a tube, when you have on your nose, right? Like what you do in the hospital. And she could barely walk 30 meters before she had to sit down, and she was very tired and couldn't breathe. So I happened to be down in Singapore doing a workshop. So this friend asked, hey, since you teach Qigong, can you see if you can do anything for my sister? So, okay. So that's the first time I encountered something like this. I say, okay, I'll see what I can do and try. And one of the first moves of the first form of Yan Shou Gong is this one, right?
Yeah.
Which opens up the upper chest and helps you improve your breathing. So I just taught her that move, okay? And she practiced it. A good thing about her is she used to practice Tai Chi, so she practiced this diligently. She was very disciplined in that. And 3 months later, when I went back down to Singapore, so I asked my friend, how's your sister doing? She said, oh, fine. She doesn't need the machine anymore. She can walk easily, 100 meters without feeling tired and out of breath. I said, wow, such a drastic improvement within 3 months, you see? Right? And then in Singapore, and I think in most other places, if you have a physical disability, they suspend your driving license, right? Because you may faint while you're driving or something like that, right? So she was very inconvenienced by that because she couldn't do her grocery shopping, couldn't fetch the kids to school and so on. But another 3 months after that, she passed a full medical and got back her driving license. So within a period of 6 months, that was quite an incredible recovery.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and that was one of my first so-called cases. But since then, I've dealt with people who have other problems as well. There was one other case which I found was very interesting. One of my, again, earlier teaching in Amsterdam, there's a very tall guy. He came to me and says, I have a lower back pain, and I asked him, what do you do? What do you do for work? He says, he sells fish. He owns a chain of shops that sell fresh fish, and he services customers. So I said, how do you Okay, what do you do when you cut the fish? He said, I stand like this. If you can catch me, yeah, like this. He stands like this with his feet flat and bends over. Of course, when you do this the whole day, your back is going to hurt. So I told him, you just have to adjust your stance. So instead of doing this, you just stand like this, 1 foot in front. So when you do this, you see, when you bend over, then the fascia takes over part of the load, you see? And if you get tired on this leg, then you change to this leg, right? And he came back 3 days later and says, oh, pain is gone.
Beautiful.
So when you understand how the body structure works, how the fascia system works, right? And yeah, that's gone. Another one is a student of mine. Her daughter has scoliosis and not exactly a slip disc, but a bulging disc, It hasn't slipped out, but the disc was bulging because of the scoliosis. And she tried all sorts of things, chiropractor, even bought a bed that, turns upside down, right? And it only helped temporarily. You see. So I told him, since you do Yan Shou Gong, why do you ask your daughter to do this one?
Oh
Right?
yeah.
Because this stretches the back and it strengthens the fascia along the spine, and that will help to support it. And she did it for about, I think, 1 month. And now I wouldn't say she's 100% okay because she's not diligent in her work. Before that, she could barely sit in a chair for 1 hour. She had to lie down, and she couldn't drive because of that. And she couldn't work because, her work involves sitting in front of a computer. But after that, now she can, her life is more or less back to normal. Not 100% because once she got healed, she did not practice anymore.
Ah, yeah. Wow.
And unfortunately, so some people are like that, You have to maintain the
The discipline.
discipline, in the practice.
Well, that definitely inspires all of us to keep practicing
Yeah.
every day and never stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Master.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.